Thank you. So, Coach, the national narrative has been, Fever's terrible, Caitlin's terrible, the last beginning.
Coach is terrible.
Coach is
Yeah,
coach.
yeah,
Okay, let's
yeah.
add that. Journalists are terrible. Whatever. Clearly, that narrative is wrong. You guys, if the season ended today, you're in the playoffs. I think you would have been the last game too. Schedule's easier, but what has been wrong about the narrative, and now what is right as you guys are starting to actually win games and show everyone what you can do?
Yeah. Well, we can start with the schedule for this inexperienced team, right? Youngest, least experienced team in the league. We'll start there. That schedule was tough with no practice time, and that is where young players, need to play together, get time on the court together, understand each other's timing, where they're going to be. So between not being able to practice, playing the toughest teams in the league, every other night, I keep saying it, but just the way these guys keep showing up, I'm so proud of them because now they're getting, they're feeling what it should have felt like from at the beginning for them. Just really proud of them. Fourth win, home win in a row. It's just really, really exciting for the Fever.
Scott, go ahead.
To that point, Kelsey said the thing she's most proud of is how they've kept everything inside, how they've blocked out the noise. How do you feel how do you feel like that has been successful?
That's really hard to do. And that is, it's taken a toll on them, on all of us, and we're just in a whole different world right now in women's basketball, not one that we've never experienced before. So we're in this learning curve of trying to figure this all out. And we were trying to do it early against the toughest teams. Now we've had time to practice. Now we've had time to gel. Now we've had time to get some minutes together and just build confidence. That's another one. Like we just weren't able to build confidence, and that changes that changes everything when players are able to build confidence. And I think Ryan told me on the way here, our 6 wins, we've had 4 players in double digits scoring. I mean, that's what we can do when we have time to put it together.
We'll go Bob, then we'll go Matt.
Christie, now that the schedule is humane,
Love that word.
Feel free to use it.
Yeah.
What has changed, and do you see specific instances on the court where you see the learning curve coming along, where you see people starting to understand what they're doing?
Yeah. For me, it's the timing of mostly the passes into the post. We've been really going into Nalissa and AB, really working on some high-low action with those two. I really think, that's just a timing thing. And for me, we're getting better and we're able to work on that at practice. So that to me is the timing of where we are, the timing of sealing those defenders, when to step across, when the reverse action has happened, when AB is going to step across, how we're going to reverse to the third side to get the ball in to whoever that is. It's just timing, and that just takes obvious, time together.
Go Matt, then we'll go Tony.
I guess, how impactful is it for a younger team to go perfect on the homestand leading into a 5-game road trip?
Yeah, these just to get these wins at home, the fans have been showing up, the sellout crowds, just to be able to put, a product out on the floor that they're proud of. I mean, we can't thank them enough for coming out. The fans have been incredible. But yeah, just to have these wins and then now to go back on the road against Atlanta, against Chicago, it's going to be tough. They've all been close games, so they're going to come at us with everything. We just got to stick to doing what we are doing, staying together, just keep improving every time we can step on the floor, whether that's a practice session, whether that's a video session, or in the 40-minute game. That's what I told him today. Like, we can't think about what's coming up. Like, we've got to get better in these 40 minutes.
Tony and Zion.
Christie, this is the second game in a row that all 4 of Nalissa, Kelsey, Aliyah, and Caitlin have all been effective and had similar shot totals. What to you has allowed that quartet to gel and play better these last 2?
I think a lot has to do with just understanding, when we're playing in that fast pace. Like if you have the advantage, 3-on-2, 2-on-1, like you keep that advantage and you keep attacking. We're really learning that when we're back 5-on-5, we've lost that advantage. Now we've got to execute. So now we're doing a much better job executing. We're doing a much better job of executing ATOs, baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds. But that's just that practice time, being able to work on it.
Zion, go ahead.
Christy, when Caitlin was in here, she talked about how, your goal was never to win the whole championship. You guys wanted to just make the playoffs and be in a spot to do that. I guess, how have you been able to keep this team grounded through the slower start you had and get to a point where you're competing?
Yeah, just, it was a challenge for them, just to show up every day, not having success, going 1-8. Just that's really hard to do, to keep coming back and just beg, asking them to just stick with it. Let's just keep getting better, keep improving. And to me, that is what I am the most proud of, is they kept showing up, and we just keep improving in certain areas that we're focused on, that we're emphasizing.
Go Reggie here on the right.
Sure. Coach, I don't know if you've been asked this before. I haven't heard you talk about it at all, but you've been asked a lot about what you've done to help keep the players' confidence up. But what have they done to help your confidence up? And what's different about this team now going into the upcoming road stretch that wasn't there before?
It's funny, when we were having that hard stretch, and it was some really hard, tough times. You as a leader, you don't have a break. And so you just have, I've got great people around me, great assistant coaches, a great trainer in Todd, who's been doing this for a long time. And he is always really quick to send me a text that's unexpected, that just kind of gets me back grounded. Lead us, coach. We're ready. Tell us what to do. Players have a way of knowing you're down and just walk by you on the bus and hit you on the back. I know it's small things, but coming from players, those are huge. And when they do those things, I make sure that, I find a way to thank them for that, in the next few days. Because they just, they're grinding too. But again, I've got a great support staff and assistant coaches, and so I'm really lucky for that.
We got two on Zoom. Taco, you want to start?
Thanks, Ryan. Hi, Christy. Christy, tonight your 74% of your shots either came at the rim or along the three-point line, and you're leading the league on a per-game basis for those shots. What is it about those specific looks that you think really helps your team and enables your offense to be as good as it's been over the last few games?
We just really keep talking about paint touches. You got to get paint touches. We've got players around now that are able to knock down wide open shots. So if you get your feet in the paint, if you get a paint touch, it just collapses the defense, especially the way AB and Liss are playing down there. So you've got to play through your post, and that's not saying you just, feed it in, expecting them to get every shot. They just create wide open looks. And then you have a Caitlin and a Kelsey who are able to also bring on so much attention. Both of them take on so much attention. Caitlin is able to knock down wide open shots. Kelsey Mitchell is able to get downhill extremely well. When she gets downhill, what happens? The defense collapses. She's finding wide open shooters, and we're knocking them down. So that is the way we have to play for us to be successful. For us to have 4 players in double digits, where the points are spread, the attempts are spread across the board, and just keep knocking down those high percentage shots.
Got the last one, Willie.
Thank you. Hey, Christy. To sort of go back to that very first question with those negative narratives, somebody who, sort of flew under the radar with negative narratives, and she sort of was very patient and poised, was AB. You just touched upon it. And it's no coincidence that during this winning stretch, her offensive production has picked up as well. For a second-year player, she's come across, whether it's in press conferences, on the court, sort of being a right arm to Caitlin. Can you just talk about her maturity level and her poise? And just her overall persona, because it's just very impressive, because she caught a lot of flack early this season also.
Yeah, AB, I say it, she's so extremely hard on herself. And when she wasn't playing well, she really, she just was more concerned of she was letting the team down. And so, she just got in the gym. She got with Jared. He's her coach, and, they just went to work. And then the more we played, she started figuring out the timing of things, her and Caitlin, the timing with her and Caitlin, the reds, the traps that were happening with Caitlin. She was able to roll to the right areas, to get those touches where she was making the decision whether she was attacking or she was kicking. But AB just got confidence. She got confidence after the Connecticut game. She went into business mode, and she's just been, business-like and doing what this team needs. She's been a focal point. She's knocking down shots. She's shooting a high percentage. She ended up with 22, I think, tonight. I think she didn't end up with that double-double, but 8 rebounds. I mean, I'll take that every night. Really proud of, just her and the leadership that she's bringing for our team.
For Caitlin and Aliyah, in what ways do you feel like this team has grown since the early weeks of the season? What ways have you improved?
I think just being able to have some more practice time and really get to play and get a feel for each other. I think we've just been playing a lot better team basketball. Everyone's getting their touches. Everyone's knocking down their shots. And so I think it's just been really great. And also I think our defensive intensity has been a focus for us, and we're able to use that to spark our offense.
Okay, yeah. For Caitlin, so 18 points and 12 rebounds, right? Have you ever, well, I'm sure you probably had that many rebounds before, but maybe not? Have
Yeah,
you?
I had. In college, I would get them sometimes.
How meaningful is that to you, that the double-double is points and rebounds?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got off to a fast start there in the first quarter. Sometimes the ball just bounces your way a little bit more. And a lot of the times, the people I'm guarding are getting back in defense, so I have a little more free reign of like going and chasing down the ball, while our bigs are probably boxing out and hitting a little bit more. So, credit to them.
We sure are hitting a lot more.
Sorry, my bad.
No, you're good.
But no, I mean, I think we're really good when I can get it off the rim and push in transition. So I take a lot of pride in trying to chase it down off the rim and then really go. And I think that led to a lot of easy baskets for Aliyah at the beginning of the game, or just all of us in transition. I think it's a really good thing. But yeah, 12 is, don't get used to it. That's for sure.
Yeah, for any of you, that's 3 close wins in front of 3 good home crowds. I guess how much energy or juice does it give you to have all those thousands of fans when crunch time comes?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we feel the energy. We use that to our advantage. They're cheering super loud, and so we're just thankful that they continue to show up and that they're super loud, because I mean we're playing hard for them too.
This is for all 3 of you, but 3 straight wins at home, every 4. Well, in this homestand.
Yes, correct.
3
Get that
straight
number
wins
right.
Be more
in a
specific
row
then.
at home. How does that help your confidence going into the upcoming road games that you guys have? And what stands out to you about this stretch at home?
I think that us, for one, being able to perform to a point where we win games in front of you guys is always a plus. So we never want to let you down. I don't think me individually or us as a group want to, see you guys look in the crowd and y'all got long faces. So we take pride in wanting to win a game, obviously. We take pride in our city and, and the people that's representing us. So I think it fuels us. It kind of gives us a pick-me-up or whatever we need as a group. I do think this energy is important going on this stretch, because down the stretch of these games, it's going to get mucky, it's going to get ugly. And I think if we can handle adversity, endure, be a part of or deal with any crowd that comes our way, I think down the stretch of games when it gets really competitive and gritty, we come out with the win still. So I think it'll be a learning experience, but I think we can feel it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, these were important games, and I'm proud of us. I felt like we took it one game at a time. We never looked too far ahead, and I think that's the same thing with this next stretch of five straight road games. You just got to go one game at a time, and the next 2 are versus teams that we played in the last week. So they're certainly going to want some revenge, but also, I feel like the confidence that we've been able to build from the last 3 games is, continue to take a step forward and learn each game. And, if we do happen to lose one, how are we going to respond? I think that's been a big thing for us too. The last game we lost, we found a way to respond and, string off 3 straight wins. So I think we've gotten a lot better over the course of these last 3 games, and it's just continuing to build on that.
Aliyah, during this homestand, it seems like you and Caitlin have found a lot of chemistry in the pick and roll game. How much does that help you guys offensively to have kind of an action that you guys feel you can get to and get a good shot from?
Yeah, great. I think Caitlin does a great job of finding me and also understanding when she can get her shot out of the pick and roll as well. I think that's something that we've just continued to build over games and practices and just continue to get a feel for each other. And so I'm super excited of where it's at now. But also I think a big part of that is Caitlin with the ball in her hand, she talks to me a lot and she tells me do this or do that. And so I'm just trying to make sure I get to those spots because I know she can hit me.
Aliyah, you've played with Kelsey now for 2 years. I think today she made her first 5, maybe even first 6 shots. Just what does it do for your team when she comes out and is firing on all cylinders?
I mean, just continues to amp us up, really. I mean, Kelsey can score the ball. It's hard for people to stay in front of her because of her speed, and so she just blows by people, and we love that. Like, that is great energy for us because we know that one thing, we give Kelsey that ball, and she's going to go and won't be stopped.
Speed demon.
Kelsey, the three of you up there combined 62 tonight and 11, 11, 12 shots for the trio.
Thanks.
What's gelling for you three and including Nalissa, especially these last 2 games as we've seen you all play well together?
2 things. I think chemistry and experience. I think we have a relatively young group, and you need experience in this league to kind of figure out where your team is. And I think we've already kind of seen our low and what it looks like, and I think it kind of just took us up a couple notches, which is a great thing. And then individually and personnel-wise, you got to know your team. You got to know the people you're playing with. You got to know what spots they like. You got to know how you got to pass it. You got to know where they're most comfortable, where they're uncomfortable. Like, all that stuff matters, and I think we are starting to master how to play with each other, and I think that once we kind of seal the deal with that one, it'll be hard for people to stop us because I think we could all fire on cylinders together. I think everybody can eat, so.
I agree, Kels.
For all three of you, national narratives are interesting and maybe not even accurate. But the narrative early on was you're struggling, you're losing, it's a bad team, whatever. I'm sure you heard it, you saw it, or you tried to avoid it. So what's the narrative now? What's the story of the Fever now? I mean, if the season ends today, you're in the playoffs. What's the story that America should be paying attention to now? All three of you, if you could answer. Thank you.
Honestly, my opinion with that is I let people keep their narratives. Whatever they want to say is what they want to say because I feel like we have this group right here of 12 that we know what we're working towards. We know how we come in every single day. And if they want to change their narrative, that's cool for them. But we're going to be rocking with our 12.
What she said.
I think everybody just loves instant satisfaction in our world. Like, no one came in here and said we were going to be WNBA champions from day one and in our locker room. Like, that was never our goal. Our goal is to get back to the playoffs, and we're fighting for that every single night. Like, this is the first time we've won 4 home games in a row since 2015. Like, you have to have perspective on things, and that goes for life too. Like, have perspective on life, and there just needs to be solid perspective on what this team can accomplish, and I think everybody in our locker room had that, and nobody ever hung our heads. We had the hardest schedule to start. We didn't get to practice much, and we're playing with the most inexperienced team in the WNBA. So, I think it's just this group is, starting to click and build some chemistry, and it's one day at a time. But like I said, everybody loves instant satisfaction. But sure, we would have probably loved that too. But I think we all kept good perspective on knowing we just need to get better at one step at a time, and that's what we're going to continue to do, even though we've won, 3 in a row at home here.
Yeah, Caitlin, really efficient first half for you. Some more off-target passes in the second half, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about smoothing that out as games progress?
Yeah, there was a couple here and there. I think one was a set design where I kind of just assumed Aliyah was going to be open, and I didn't even really look before I threw it. So I think just slowing down a little bit. Honestly, I'm trying to remember the other ones. Another one was to Aliyah that was slowing out of bounds.
It's all right. Don't worry. Because here's the thing. Don't worry. Because, you look at Caitlin and you look at the way she passes the ball. And so sometimes things are going to happen that way. And that's okay because we're not going to let her hang her head. We're not going to hang our head off of any missed passes because we're still continuing to gel together. And we know that she's a great passer. And so if she thinks she can get that ball there, she's going to throw it. And if I miss it, then we're good. We're all right. Don't you worry. We're good. Don't worry.
Thanks, AB.
Aliyah, we haven't asked you about being named Eastern Conference Player of the Week, especially given what you went through the first couple of weeks.
Thanks.
Is this a little bit more fruitful, a little bit more meaningful to you?
Yeah, it was nice. I'm really glad. I'm glad my teammates have just continued to put me in those positions. Thank God that I was able to be awarded that. But it's special for me.
Kelsey, as a team, what are you most proud of about what's clicking, about what's rolling right now for this group?
I would say that our attitude on keeping what don't matter out. I would say I'm most proud of our group for that. I think right now we keeping the basketball and we keeping the main thing, and that's the X's and O's in our group. I don't think that we focus on what the world could be saying, and I think that's the best part for us right now. So I think that's our biggest growth and our biggest jump as a group, coaches included.
Yeah, for Kelsey, obviously, last time you guys won 4 home games in a row was 2015. That was still 3 years before you, as the longest tenured player, got here. Just what's different about this year's team compared to all the other?
I think. I mean, obviously the change in era or the change in
I was
like.
a freshman, I think.
You know,
Yeah, I was in 8th grade.
I think obviously just, these guys coming in, kind of changing the narrative for the game in general for the women's basketball side of things. But I think collectively, us taking the time to build what the organization and what it could be. Tamika Catches in that era was what it was, and I think that we're just trying to do something different and establish something different. So I think that's the biggest difference.
Got the last 2 on Zoom. DJ, you want to start?
Hey, I have 2 questions. Questions for all 3 of you. All 3 of you made threes in this game. I wanted to know, 1, how do you feel about the spacing when all of you are shooting well from distance? And then the other question is for Caitlin. You had a 3-pointer off of a down screen in the 4th quarter near clutch time. And I wanted to ask you, more comfortable on ball or off ball in those situations?
I mean, I would say our spacing has definitely improved over the course of the last probably couple of weeks. Honestly, I think we kind of struggled at the beginning of the year, and then, to be honest, I think it was a bit of a broken play. We were running a set, and I kind of just ran in a circle and then kind of came off of a down screen because I knew I was supposed to come off a down screen at some point. And sometimes it works best when you fake yourself out because then it really fakes the defense out. And it worked, and I got the most open I had been all night. So honestly, I prefer to shoot off the dribble. I think everybody knows that. But I think my catch and shoot shooting and coming off screen shooting has definitely improved over the course of the last 2 years for sure.
AB, Kelsey, anything on spacing?
Yeah, I think our spacing has definitely improved, like Caitlin said, but I think a big part of that, too, is that they have to chase so many people. They have to chase Kelsey, they have to chase Caitlin, and so they're more focused on them, and then sometimes we're able to just pop back and knock it down.
Last one on Zoom, Mike Vopel.
Yeah, Aliyah, I think you have 4 threes already this year, which is
Woohoo!
last year. I just wondered, obviously you battle so much down low, but when you sort of decide to look for that 3, and how have you worked on that to make that a part of your game?
Yeah, I mean, shooting 3 is something I worked on in the off season, but it's also something that I continue to do in practice and just knock it down. And we do a lot of drills where we're shooting 3s. And so, I mean, I'm pretty confident. I don't just start out there. Obviously, I want to bang and get down low. And then sometimes when I have the opportunity, I'll just step back and take it.